What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. A few days ago, we began a scenario where Beerus started to raise Vegeta, finding him after having a premonition about a Super Saiyan God, and now taking him to his planet. Today we'll be continuing that into another part, and in case you couldn't already tell, this entire week's going to be dedicated to this scenario. It's going to be 4 parts long, so every part's going to come out right after the other. You can expect another on Thursday, and the finale on Saturday. For this video, we'll set a like goal of 3,500 likes. It lets me know you want to see more things like this, and it really helps out the channel. And with all that out of the way, let's pick up from here. So as mentioned, Vegeta already does have Super Saiyan God. It might seem like a bit early, but you have to consider. Honestly, it would be kind of weird if he didn't have Super Saiyan God. And what do you think about it? I'm kind of nerfing him at this rate for only having that. He could probably be way beyond that. But since they were starting from scratch with no knowledge of Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan God, this is more than reasonable. And I don't want to make him too overpowered just yet. Just yet, though. That's going to be coming very soon. Although, yeah, Vegeta's going to be pretty strong. He's a Super Saiyan God already. And on top of that, even if he didn't have this form, he'd be strong in general with all those years training with Whis. His techniques, his raw power, even his mental fortitude. Everything about him has vastly improved as a warrior. He picked up a lot of influence from Beerus and Whis. Although, there definitely is a loose end that he needs to tie up. Around the same time of everything that happened in the last part, with the Saiyan invasion on Earth, there is another Saiyan invasion. Although it's only one Saiyan, Vegeta, arriving to the base of operations for Frieza's army. Beerus recognizes that Vegeta has wanted to do this for a while, and he finally allows Vegeta to do this. It will be a great test of his power too. Beerus has always attempted to gauge it, but he always has to hold back so much. He does want to see how Vegeta performs in a real situation though, something like this. Setting him to defeat Frieza will be a perfect test. Or at least Beerus thinks. He doesn't realize how big the gap in power is just yet. Vegeta arrives at the base, immediately making his presence known. He wants to find Frieza, and King Cold for that matter. And Vegeta's ready for a fight. No matter what Frieza has in store, Vegeta's definitely prepared. And he's ready for a fun battle. Of course, the entire Frieza army attacks him. All the Frieza Force goons, the Ginyu Force, everyone. And even in base, they're no match for Vegeta. He knew he got strong, but this is actually way more than he thought. It's kind of a weird situation because he hasn't really been around other mortals in so long. Okay, well, maybe that was a fluke. Or maybe he truly is that powerful. The fight with Frieza should be more interesting though, right? Well, King Cold and Frieza do end up arriving back on the planet, hearing that there's commotion and realizing that all of their army has been wiped out. And Vegeta's ready, and just to make things more fun, he tells them, if they have anything in store, use it now. Any transformations, whatever. He wants them to use everything they've got. And Frieza has no idea what he's talking about. But then Frieza holds his tongue. He remembers, Vegeta's been training with Beerus for so long. Maybe he truly is strong. Well, okay. Just to be safe, Frieza decides to show off his full power, transforming as King Cold stands there. And he doesn't just go into his final form at 50%, no, he goes to his 100% power. He actually isn't holding back, and Vegeta can tell. And he welcomes Frieza to attack first. Vegeta is really cocky, so if he's gonna leave himself open, Frieza's gonna take the chance. He simply lifts a finger up, launching a death beam right at Vegeta. It hits him directly in the chest. And as the beam dissipates, it leaves absolutely no marks at all. Huh? No, that can't be. He had a direct shot right there. He tries again, and again, and again. And Vegeta is confused too. He can't feel any of these attacks. Frieza's at his full power. Normally this would have been terrifying for any other mortal, but for him, he feels nothing. And the weirdest part is, he hasn't transformed yet. And Frieza's terrified. He's a Super Saiyan, isn't he? And Vegeta says, well, yeah, he is, but he's not transformed. Wait, he's not transformed? Super Saiyan's a transformation? Oh yeah, and Vegeta gets a kick out of this. He transforms into his Super Saiyan. And that alone paralyzes King Cold and Frieza with fear. But Vegeta's not enjoying any of this. Well, he is, watching them cower in fear. But he didn't recognize the gap of power was this strong. And then he transformed into Super Saiyan God, just to show it off and see their reaction. They can't sense it at all, which Beerus said might be the case for mortals. So Vegeta's not too surprised there. But while in Super Saiyan God, he decides to power up even more, showing some of his full strength. And this is where things get really weird. Simply by powering up, Vegeta doesn't even realize what he's doing. The entire planet begins shaking, erupting. And the force of him powering up alone, well, that's enough to kill Frieza and King Cold. And Vegeta stops, powering back down. The entire planet's collapsing. And he looks around. That's just from him powering up? This is the first time he's truly gotten to test his power against someone else. Like, he's gone all out against Beerus before. He knows how strong he is. But he hasn't really had that comparison in a while to a mortal level. Vegeta is of course elated, but at the same time, he's bored. He needs a rival. He sees what Beerus was doing too, and Vegeta's in kind of a weird spot. He's too strong to have any rivals with the mortals, but he's too weak to be a rival with Beerus, at least at the moment. Well, if anything, this just serves as more motivation for him to train because it's really the only thing he can do, as well as trying to learn new abilities from Beerus and Whis. Whis was trying to teach Vegeta one thing about moving his body automatically, and that does seem cool, but Vegeta's more interested in what Beerus has in store, specifically the Hakkais and stuff like that. Those seem really cool, having those destructive abilities. Becoming a true god of destruction like Vegeta thought of before. At least in this scenario. So, that's the path he's gonna go down now. That'll probably get him the strongest, and it will let him have better fights with Beerus too. Finally finding a rival on his level. It's weird because now he's in Beerus' shoes. He sees exactly how Beerus feels. Meanwhile, let's go over to Earth. I did say I wasn't gonna cover Earth too much, but that's gonna be changing going forward since I already have the story written out, and it will become important later on. So, what's been happening there? Well, let's say a few more years pass since the Saiyan invasion, on both ends of the universe. On Earth, there's been no threats at all. No Namek happened, the Saiyan saga wasn't nearly as bad as it was normally, and after that, there wouldn't really be anything else. Earth is just peaceful at the moment, which is great. One big change that would probably be brought about is that Goten's born early, and people are probably going to be slacking off in their training, even though some will be training consistently, like Goku and Piccolo. Although, there's another thing. Piccolo's not really going to be too involved with the main cast. I mean, they kind of are on good terms after the year of training in the Saiyan saga. And of course, with him teaching Gohan and all, he has warmed up to them a bit, especially Gohan himself. But Piccolo's kind of secluded. He's a good guy now, I guess, but not really that close with the group. Although at some points, he probably would end up training with Goku because that's his main rival now. The strongest person on Earth. If he wants to grow stronger, he needs to be involved. So even without the events of Namek here, he still does end up having ties with the group, with Goku and him becoming rivals, but on much better terms than they were before. Also, I normally would say that Goku would catch the heart virus because usually in my scenarios, I go with the explanation that he caught it as a kid and it just laid dormant. But I'm gonna throw Goku a bone here. In this scenario, I'll go with the logic that the heart virus came from Yardrat, which was never confirmed, but I never really used that explanation in my videos. However, here I will use it, and since Goku never went to Yardrat in the scenario, he doesn't get the heart virus. I mean, we at least need to give them something. They're very weak at this point, so... And besides this, there's going to be other things that affect the Android saga, because that is still going to happen, although it's going to be much different than normal. First off, no time traveler. One of the reasons I'm doing the thing with the heart virus. No one gets warning of the androids, because there are no androids. Jiro does still work on another project though. He decides to focus all of his attention on Cell. Since the group of people that he's trying to kill is much smaller, and much weaker, and he doesn't have as much research as normal, he feels like it's probably best to just focus on one thing. He doesn't need to create all these different androids at once. So, he works on a project that he thinks will be perfect. Although it's going to take a while for it to be complete. So he stays in his lab as he works on his greatest project yet, Cell. But we're not going to see him just yet. Meaning, there's not really an android saga. And that means we're probably going to even skip ahead even more. This is the second big time skip in this part alone, and the third in the scenario overall. And combining the two, we basically had 30 years worth of time skips so far. Give or take. Because now we get to the Buu saga. And here, this is actually going to start happening. Keyword, it's going to start happening. All this while, Vegeta has been training. He's continuously trained with Beerus and Whis, trying to unlock a power beyond Super Saiyan God. And by this point in the story, with how long he's been training, he has grown exponentially stronger, and Beerus is elated. But beyond his base strength growing, Vegeta also unlocks a couple new techniques, and a new form too. By combining the power of Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God, he's achieved and gained mastery over Super Saiyan Blue now. And he senses something strange. On a faraway planet, one that he never even thought about before, Whis notes that something strange is happening, and Vegeta might be able to find a rival there. The only reason Whis knows about this is because the Supreme Kai is there too. Apparently some events unfolding on Earth. There's warriors there trying to fight a new threat. One that's currently awakening, Majin Buu. Over on Earth, the group is basically helpless. The Supreme Kai is there with Kibito. And Shin would definitely be the strongest of everyone, which is weird to say because normally he isn't seen as that strong. But in this case, he is. And with all the time Babidi spent here on Earth, as well as staking out an ongoing tournament, he was finally able to collect enough energy, and the group watches on as Majin Buu is revived. Shin begins freaking out. There's no way they're going to be able to defeat him. And that is true. There's no way for them to defeat him. But much to his surprise, 3 people teleport in on Earth. They're speechless, and the Earthlings look on confused, not knowing who these people are. Well, Shin tells them, This is the god of destruction, Beerus. He's here to save them. He could definitely defeat Buu, probably with one attack. Or maybe Whis is gonna do something. And Beerus says that's not the case. He just needs to make sure that Shin survives. But he's not gonna get intervened. That's what this other person is here for. He greets everyone, introducing himself, and then introducing Vegeta. But something catches Vegeta's eye. He looks over at the group of Earthlings, and one of them, he looks like a Saiyan. No, that can't be. There's no other Saiyans that survived, right? Well, outside of his brother. No, he remembers now. He remembers Raditz telling him a while ago. There was some planet, it was called Earth. And his brother was sent here. Vegeta looks over. Kakarot? And Goku's confused. How does Vegeta know that name? He's heard that name from Raditz. Wait, what? Babidi and Buu are getting impatient, but Vegeta tells him to shut up. He wants to know more about this. So, he is a Saiyan. That's Raditz's brother, and Raditz and Nap ended up coming here. Oh yeah, Goku says they came here a while ago. And they also ended up dying. As well as him too, but they did fend off the Saiyan invasion. You know what? Vegeta's not too surprised that they died coming here. Without his guidance, yeah, they definitely would have failed. But that's interesting. Not only the fact that there's another Saiyan here, but he has 2 kids, hybrid Saiyans. Okay, Vegeta's definitely gonna have to check that out later, but for now, he wants to fight Buu. This could potentially be his new rival. Babidi continues yelling, and Vegeta simply points a finger at him, decimating him with one beam. Okay, not really too impressive, Babidi wasn't that strong, he just caught him off guard. But they wonder if Vegeta's actually gonna be able to fight this Buu guy. He seems pretty strong. Also, there's Deborah. They were barely able to fend him off. They almost all got turned into stone and killed. They could tell if they fought him at full strength, he would kill them all, but he wanted to keep them alive just to get the energy. Oh, that guy's an issue? Vegeta simply turns over to him. He twitches an eye, and Deborah explodes. He's simply fodder to Vegeta. Vegeta's focused on Buu. He powers up, going into Super Saiyan Blue. And this time he keeps it in check, knowing that powering up could literally disintegrate everyone around him, as well as the planet too. He welcomes Buu to attack him. Now without Babidi there controlling him, Buu's free to do what he wants. And it's a similar case to Frieza. Great. Vegeta's too strong to even fight this guy. This guy, Buu, he's supposed to be an artificial monster. Apparently he terrorized the Kais a long time ago. At least that's what Shin's saying. But nothing he does can hurt Vegeta. And Vegeta just powers back down into base. There's no fun in using Super Saiyan Blue in this either, so he gives himself the handicap, but even with that, Buu just does absolutely nothing. It's exactly like what happened with Frieza a decade ago. And Vegeta just gets frustrated. There's no fun in this. He obliterates Buu with one attack, utilizing Hakai. There, now that's dealt with. He definitely expected something more, but he's disappointed. Well, Beerus is at least glad that Shin's okay. Not because he cares about Shin's safety too much, but more so his own safety. But Vegeta is curious though. Seeing this other Saiyan here, he wonders, how strong is he now? Well, Goku knows nothing about transformations. He wonders how Vegeta was able to turn his hair blue. And yeah, that makes sense. Kakarot's a low-class warrior. There's no way he'd be able to turn even Super Saiyan. And that's if he even knows about it. Apparently Kakarot was raised here. He knows nothing of that legend. Much less Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue. But Vegeta begins wondering, maybe this could be a potential rival for him. Maybe not. Kakarot seems far too weak, and it would take so long for him to grow. He does keep it in mind, but he returns back to Beerus' planet. And now, Goku's interested. He wants that same power. He wonders, maybe even Goten and Gohan could do it too. Not that they're too interested because they haven't really been training as much, especially with all the peace on Earth, but the thought crosses his mind. And it might seem like this part didn't really amount to too much, but you gotta consider, Cell is still being developed. Vegeta has gotten a lot stronger, and he was on Earth, meaning Cell would definitely get his DNA. Possibly even some more, including people like Buu, maybe even Beerus, or Shin. Probably not Whis, we don't want him too overpowered. So even though this encounter seemed pretty insignificant, it seems Vegeta's rival might arrive soon. He just doesn't know it yet, but we'll be saving that for the next part. This is where we leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part, and what do you think is going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. Be sure to drop a like on the video too if you want to see more videos like this, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell icon too if you want to be notified about future parts of this series. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.